In a truly moving and beautiful video, fans of Turkish club Beşiktaş threw what appeared to be thousands of toys onto the pitch. They did this as a show of solidarity and support to the children impacted by the earthquakes. As of this taping, the death toll in Turkey is over 44,200, and in Syria, nearly 6,000. Via Yahoo Sports, the visuals are a reminder of what was lost and the fellow man aiding those in need. The toys started flying in at the 4:16 mark of the match, symbolizing the time of the first earthquake hitting the region. Players are seen going over and picking up stuffed animals in support, clapping at the fans, applauding their gesture. One member of the visiting side, Ahmet Ayup Turkaslan, lost his life in the earthquakes, as did former Premier League player Christian Atsu, who held a spot on Hatayspor's roster. One banner from the Beşiktaş faithful would read, "Children always smile." Another fan wrote, "Turkey as one heart. This is the power of sport in motion." Sadly, this is not the first time Beşiktaş did such a gesture.
And there has been a powerful earthquake in southeastern Turkey, a 7.2 magnitude quake centered on Van province near the border with Iran. It brought down around 1,000 buildings across this seismically restless region.
It struck at lunchtime in southeastern Turkey. Those in the province of Van were completely unprepared for the 7.2 magnitude quake.
Many were pulled from the rubble. The death toll per Britannica was over 500. Per The Athletic, Beşiktaş fans worked with the club, making the similar donation to the victims of the Van earthquake of 2011. Elsewhere in Turkey, via Salami Haktan, Trabzonspor fans shouted Allahu Akbar slogans in support of earthquake victims before their match. CBS Sports would report the message also honored the rescue workers who gave their time and energy to helping those in need. In addition, all ticket sales went to relief funds, and a banner that read, "We are with you," was on the pitch. Elsewhere in the match, the power of the people making their voices heard. This banner read, "There is no debris, there is no state, Erdogan resign," which opens up the following. Turkish fans are rebelling against President Erdogan through the beautiful game. Government resign rang out around Beşiktaş stadium. The protest chants showed lingering anger about the Turkish government's response to the disaster. At another big club in the country, Fenerbahçe, here is what it sounded like inside that stadium. 20 years of lies and cheating, resign, they yelled. These are thunderous chants from folks who are ticked off with their government's response or lack thereof. In effect, Devlet Bahçeli, the leader of the party aligned with Erdogan, canceled his Beşiktaş membership. After the chants rang out, Devlet would tweet, "It is the inevitable duty of all club presidents to take urgent and necessary steps to play the matches either without spectators or by taking the necessary precautions. The Nationalist Movement Party is a follower of the issue." He continued the defense of his government, writing the following. "The Nationalist Movement Party strongly condemns the disrespect shown to our citizens who lost their lives in the earthquake and the use of sports as a tool for dirty politics in such sensitive and painful days of our country." To be clear, that is rich, isn't it? Those who use sport to advance their own political agenda suddenly hate it when those involved in that industry, fans, players, coaches, advertisers, what have you, go in the opposite of what they think. Folks in the affected provinces raised concerns that there were no organized relief efforts and that scores of bodies were slow to be collected, causing the stench of death to spread. Recently, Erdogan asked for forgiveness, an incredible change from his defiant stances of his government's response. Do not look too far to understand why he's doing this, even as residents tearfully and passionately rebuke the president's own words. We are roughly 3 months away from Turkey's election. There you have it. Erdogan is seeking another term for yet another decade in power. For Erdogan, it is strategic. All of this is strategic. It's why it's so important for all of us to follow the patterns, and the inner workings of politics, period. Because for him to take the highest office in the country, once again, amidst all of this devastation, he must concoct a plan. Thing is, he may have experience in this field. The Times recalls an earthquake in 1999 that took more than 17,000 lives, which exposed the Turkish government's incompetence. Amidst the turmoil was a young politician who rode the wave of public anger, Erdogan. Critics accuse him of pushing the country toward autocracy by weakening civil rights and eroding the independence of state institutions like the foreign ministry and the central bank. And in a series of moves aimed at undercutting his rivals and centralizing control, he has restricted institutions like the army that could have helped with the earthquake response while stocking others with loyalists. I have been voting for this government for 20 years, and I'm telling everyone about my anger, said Mikhail Gul, 53, who lost 5 family members in a building collapse. I will never forgive them, he said. 20 years of lies and cheating, resign, Fenerbahce fans would chant in their club's 4-0 win. Besiktas supporters are closer, reportedly, to the opposition than to Erdogan. But chants of this kind became rarer after Erdogan cracked down in the wake of the failed coup against him in 2016. That's why this is so seismic and important. I have learned through many in this field how sports reflect the times. We have seen it through the jockey syndrome. We have seen it through the civil rights movement. We have seen it with recently Colin Kaepernick and police brutality. It is taking hold and could potentially swing an entire country's election against a man who has ruled on them and failed the residents and citizens of this country for 2 decades.